Kerry, this is such a pleasure to be able to interview you for the Game Changer that you've decided to be a part of. What inspired you to become a part of the Game Changer?
Yes, thank you for having me here with you today. I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about my participation in writing this book. And it was important to me to write this chapter to help people understand that our beliefs and our life experiences affect how we show up in the world and what we manifest in our lives, and that we have the power to change that, to heal it, and to learn from it. And so I want people to know that they have the ability to make positive changes in their life, and they can learn to trust the choices that they make along the way. So basically to be an inspiration, that despite having difficulties in their life, they can have the power to learn from it and heal from it and move forward in a stronger way.
So what was your journey in getting to this point yourself?
Well, for me, it was a lot of about healing, beginning with healing the physical, and then leading into, a path of personal growth and spiritual development. And so it was experiences of health issues that led me into learning energy work and other modalities to heal myself, and then coming to understand about the mind-body connection and how that actually is a messaging system to help us see where things are off in our lives that we can work to right, to bring back into balance. And also that we have a connection to divine guidance. And that also is always there to help us.
Thank goodness. Yeah, well, that's an interesting journey then that you've been on. Can you share maybe just a short story, maybe even one that hasn't been shared in your book or in your chapter of the book?
Right. In the chapter that I wrote in the book, I do make reference to a little voice that I heard when I was at a really low point, and I actually had made the statement that I was not going to forgive somebody. And I heard a little voice that said, "And by not forgiving, you only poison yourself." It was like, where did that voice come from? So I didn't go into detail in the book about that, but what I will say is that it led me onto a path of learning to connect with what I call a divine spirit guidance, and learning that there's many ways of giving that loving assistance. And I started with, first of all, learning how to ask for help finding a parking spot. So it can come by asking for assistance and then something showing up. It can come in the way of maybe you're listening to music on a radio and you'll hear the refrain in a song and it's exactly a guidance that you needed. I actually also learned how to use a pendulum and tarot cards to receive guidance.
How fascinating.
Yes, and then finally to a point where I actually, I like hear it, not with my outer ear, but with an inner ear, and it can actually channel right. But this guidance is available like 24/7. And so it was a path of learning how to ask, and then how to be watchful for what I'm receiving, and how to trust those messages.
So did you have a course or something that you offer? How do you work with your clients?
Yes, well, I have a multi-step course that walks them through learning how to connect to their divine spirit guidance. And it starts with learning how to center and ground ourselves so that we can go into our body. And then we learn how to listen to what the body is telling us, because the wisdom resides in the body. That's that messaging system I was talking about. And then we learn how to recognize what it is that's holding us back, blocking us, or some form of trauma, and how we can heal that so that it no longer blocks us and we can move forward. And then I teach them ways to raise their vibration, because divine spirit is a higher vibration, and we need to raise our vibration to facilitate connecting to that higher frequency. So there's mindfulness practices and things that I can help people with. And then help them learn how they tune in. Everybody has their own unique way of tuning into their spirit guidance. So I help them learn how their way of connecting is. And that can change over time too as we continue on our path of personal growth. And then basically how to empower their life with this ability to connect and receive this divine loving guidance. So how to be able to use it on a daily basis and always remember that it's there for us.
Wow, that's beautiful. And there's so much that's available to us if we only know how to tap into it.
Exactly.
So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? And I know you've got it in your book, but just the very best way that they can reach you.
Well, they can send me an email to Kerry@thedivineguidancegift.com, and that's Kerry, and then the words thedivineguidancegift.com. And they can also go out to the website, which is called thedivineguidancegift.com. And there's a contact page there, so that's another way of.
Perfect. As a person reads this chapter, what is your hope for them as they finish up your chapter? What's the biggest thing that you want them to receive?
I want them to know that there's a mind-body connection, and that's a messaging system to guide them, and that personal growth is a pathway to growing their connection to their own intuition and to that source of that wise, loving, divine spirit guidance.
And we all have it, don't we?
We all have it. You don't have to be special or anything. We can all develop. It's like, building muscle. You
Right.
don't go into the gym and lift 375 pounds the first day. You slowly build up to it.
Gradually work your way into it.
Right.
Very good. Is there anything else that you want to share in this interview?
Oh, gosh.
A ton of things, huh?
A reminder to love ourselves, like the importance of self-love, because we can only love others to the degree that we love ourselves. And it's the best way to step into your own physical, emotional, and mental health is to love yourself.
Very much, very much. I learned that lesson some time ago when it came to forgiveness and loving myself. Forgiveness is something we do for ourselves,
Exactly.
as is loving ourselves, and it's part of our journey.
It is definitely, and that was part of my chapter when I had talked about not being able to forgive someone and realizing that forgiveness is for me.
It is, very
The
much.
importance of that, right? So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for such a beautiful interview, and I hope that those that are reading your chapter get the wealth of your expertise and your knowledge, your kindness, and the love that you want to share with them.